Here's a review of today's Bellringer, Better with Ice. So question number 1 is tough because it's actually what I'm introducing in a video a little bit later. So this question is asking us, in which table is, here we go, get the pen to come up, is y a linear function of x? So we need to see if it's linear. And really, we're going to just look at the slope and try to make sure that it's going to stay the same. So to find slope, we're looking at change in y over change in x. So here y goes from 5 to 7, so that's plus 2. From 7 to 10, plus 3. And from 10 to 12, plus 2. That's going to throw up a little red flag in my mind because it's not staying the same. So let's see. From 3 to 5, plus 2. 5 to 7, plus 2. And 7 to 9 is plus 2. Well, this entire side here stays the same while this side changes, so this is not going to be linear because that slope is not constant. Now we'll check table B. From negative 5 to 3 is plus 2. From negative 3 to 0 is plus 3. And from 0 to 2, plus 2. Again, we've got another red flag. 1 to 4, plus 3. 4 to 7, plus 3. 7 to 10, plus 3. Again, the slope changed because here we had, this first one was 2 over 3, then we had 3 over 3. So that slope changes. That is not going to be linear. Then choice C. From 6 to 2 is minus 4. From 2 to negative 2, minus 4. And from negative 2 to negative 6 is minus 4. That checks out so far. Then our x from negative 8 to negative 5 is plus 3. From negative 5 to negative 1 is plus 4. And there's my red flag. It's changing again. And then from negative 1 to positive 2, we have a plus 3. So it's changed. This is not going to be linear. So I got a feeling my answer is going to be D. Let's check and see. From 6 to 0, minus 6. And then from 0 to negative 6 is minus 6. And then from 6 to negative 10 is minus 4. I've got another red flag. Let's see if that slope stays the same. From negative 2 to negative 5 is negative 3. From negative 5 to negative 8, negative 3. And from negative 8 to negative 10 is negative 2. The reason why D is my answer is because technically my slope is staying the same, because negative 6 over negative 3 is equivalent to 2. And then I have negative 4 over negative 2, which also simplifies to 2. As long as our slope is proportional, like the change from 6 to 3, or 6 over 3 is 2. Here, 4 over 2 is also 2, so technically our slope is the same. That's a little bit tricky. The examples in today's lesson are not that tough. And here is number 2. Which point best indicates the location of the square root of 56 on the number line below? Well, 56 is not a perfect square, but we can kind of let our choices guide us here. So we're going in between 5 and 8. So we know that the perfect square, or 8 squared, is 64. So the square root of 64 is really close to 56. So on my paper, I would go ahead and write square root of 64, square root of 56, and then to the left of that, now's where I can start to kind of make my number line. That would be 8. I'm working this way. So my next number would be 7. And 7 squared would be 49. So the square root of 49 would be 7. So I need the square root of 56 to be somewhere in between 7 and 8. And which point matches that? Well, A's way out there. Point B is on the line for 7, so that's not correct. And point D is on the line for 8, so that's not going to work either. The answer here would be point C.